Assalamu alaikum, brother. Thank you for writing to our live session. As I understand your question, you're concerned about masturbation, and you have been masturbating and you feel really bad about it, you don't want to do it, and you would like to stop. I'd first like to say that a lot of people have this problem, and it is kind of like a normal response to your body's changing and growing. And people, globally masturbate, but it's more prominent among, men and those who are around your age group, and even younger and older. It can become a problem. And in Islam, of course, it states that people are not supposed to masturbate, and it is a better alternative, however, than to committing, zina. And it's also your body's way of telling you, at this point, since you're 18, that it's possibly time to think of marriage. So some tips to decrease or stop masturbating would be limiting your access to pornography. If you're watching pornography, please stop and divert your attention to other things, right? When you watch pornography or you watch things that are sexually suggestive, of course, that triggers the arousal mechanism in you, and you begin to become filled with desire, and then, of course, you want to masturbate. So limiting your access to pornography and other, movies, pictures, and things like that are stimulating will be very helpful. Also, divert your energy somewhere else, right? Like learn a new skill, take up a hobby, develop an interest that is intense and that is inspiring, so that when you do have the urge to masturbate, you can start doing, your new hobby, your new skill, your new task, to divert your energy into that. So the energy that you're putting into masturbation, you could put into something else that is totally like a different topic, right? So say you may be interested in playing basketball or learning something scientific, or I don't know, whatever your interests are. Focus on that and make a promise to yourself that you will redivert and start doing a different activity. And one way of rediverting is when you get the urge, you can put a big red stop sign in your mind, right? Picture a stop sign in your mind and just reflect on that image for a minute, and then start your other activity. Also, exercising, weightlifting, going to the gym, swimming, all these things are really healthy for you, and they release endorphins, and of course that makes you feel good. So that is also another tactic to reduce or stop masturbation. Also, you need to be patient with yourself, right? Like when you first start trying to stop, it's going to be hard, right? Because you're used to doing it. It's become a habit. And there's a lot of stimulus in the world today, in the environments, right? So just be patient with yourself and try some tips to stop. And, some of those times you may not be successful, but don't come down hard on yourself. Just know that, it will happen, but the stronger you get, the more consistent you are with replacing other activities, the more successful you will be. And they say that, it takes like 30 days to develop a habit. Also, please identify your stressors, right? Because sometimes people will masturbate when they're stressed out. So if you know that you have certain stressors, and you might want to think about it and write them down. And like say going to school, going to your job, right? Getting into an argument with somebody. Like if those are stressors for you and you know it, then ahead of time you could plan to do a different activity or to address the stress so that you don't turn to masturbation. And you could also do things like, praying, zikr, reading the Quran, because obviously when we're doing those types of worship and being involved with our spirituality and our relationship with Allah, right? We're not going to be thinking about masturbation. We're going to be, obviously focused on worshiping Allah. So those are other tips to deal with masturbation. If you're finding, that you can't stop, and it's been more than 30 days, and you've tried all the tips, and you've really put a lot of effort into it, you could also get counseling, right? You could see a counselor, and they could, provide you with more specific, tailored programs and a plan of action to help you, reduce your masturbation or stop. In some cases, people become addicted to it, right? And also that's, when therapy and counseling is very effective. And one thing, just accept, your feelings. There's a lot of emotional and autonomic nervous system patterns that lead to wanting to masturbate, and it's something that you commit to, right? So, like I discussed briefly earlier, it's something that's going to take time. It might not just happen overnight, and inshallah, it may. You may be blessed with that, but just keep with it and be aware of your feelings and acknowledge them, and know that it's okay because you are trying to stop. Okay, so also prioritize, self-care, meditation, relaxation, eat good healthy foods, go to the gym, and these things will all help, help you stop because you'll be focusing on being healthy. Also, look at your self-esteem. How do you feel about yourself? Do you need to work on possibly self-confidence, self-esteem, and positive feelings for self, right? That's important too. So take a look at that and maybe write down some feelings you have regarding self. Now, going back to engaging in other tasks and hobbies and exercise and things like that, some counselors do, recommend like physical things like tennis or baking pans and things like that, because when you're cooking and you're holding a baking pan, or say you're playing baseball, you really can't engage in other activities because you're physically busy doing enjoyable activities that you like and will keep you busy. So these are a few tips that are offered by various professionals in the field, and please do try it and see if it works for you, and make dua to Allah for forgiveness and mercy and help along your path of stopping. As you know, Allah is most merciful. Allah loves to forgive, and Allah loves to bless his servants. And as he can see, Allah sees that you're trying, and he knows that it's hurting you and that you really do want to stop, and Allah will help you, inshallah. But just go to Allah and express how you feel to Allah, and express your sorrow, and inshallah, Allah will definitely help you end this habit. And just take it one day at a time, brother. Just worry about one day at a time. Don't overwhelm yourself with thoughts of next week, next month, whatever. Just one day at a time. So, and as the Quran says, just guard your gaze, focus your attention on something else, and inshallah, also talk to your parents about possibly thinking about marriage for the future. So we wish you the best, and if you have any further questions, please let us know.